What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. Lately, I've just been kind of like dabbling and exploring, making some videos that touch more on sort of the clinical side of what we do as therapists. And one thing that's popped up in my mind a lot lately is how do we approach clients who seem stuck in our work together? Personally, in my work, I've found that there is a specific approach that almost universally is useful regardless of who I'm working with and what it is that's making them feel stuck. And I thought I would share that approach with you all. But before I dive into that, I want to give a little preface disclaimer that I'm not an expert on this topic, and also that what might be working best for my practice may not necessarily make the most sense with your population presenting issues that you tend to work with. So as with any new therapeutic approach, take into consideration the work that you do. You can always consult and see if it's the best fit for the type of people that you work with. With all of that said, let's dive into the topic of the day. How do we help clients who seem just stuck? I think it's safe to say that we've all been there, probably multiple times before, where we utilize a tried and true therapeutic strategy that generally works, and for whatever reasons, with this particular client that we're working with, it doesn't seem to be getting us anywhere. And then we end up going on that kind of merry-go-round ride where you keep implementing the same strategy because usually it works, but your client just seems to be bringing up the same issues every time you meet, and it feels like you're not really getting anywhere. What do we do in this situation? From personal observation, it seems like when our clients get stuck like this, most therapists tend to go in one of two directions. Some therapists look inward and say, what is it that I'm missing? Am I doing something wrong in our work together? And on the other hand, some therapists will say, well, I'm doing the right strategy, so there must be something going on with my client here, that they're not really invested in the work or they're not really ready for therapy. So we either look inwards or we look at our clients, one or the other. And though either of these may very well explain why our client is stuck in a particular situation, either approach of I must be doing something wrong or my client must be doing something wrong creates a really unhelpful power dynamic. So while I do always bring up these kinds of stuck clients in consult group to try to get to the bottom of things, in practice with my clients, I pretty much universally have the same approach with them. With my clients, I focus on identifying that somehow we are stuck in our work together. Pretty much regardless of how we got here, whether it was me, them, or both of us somehow, one way or the other, we are stuck in the mud together now. This concept of we are doing this thing together is an essential tenet of collaborative therapy, which essentially believes that therapist and clients are equals, kind of co-journeying together. Now, I'm not going to kind of do a deep dive into collaborative therapy in this video, so I'll just provide some links below if that's something that you're curious to learn more about. But the piece I want to emphasize in this video today is that when our clients are stuck, at least in my practice, when I emphasize that it's a we problem and not a me or a them problem, then we have much greater chances of getting unstuck. I mean, let's think about it for a moment. If you see your client as stuck, while you see yourself as not stuck, then no matter how good your intentions, no matter how helpful your tools are, anything you do to try to support them is going to reinforce a power hierarchy. The imagery that comes to mind for me is that your client is stuck in a deep pit of mud. They cannot get out by themselves, and here we are standing kind of on the outside of the pit, peering down in, saying, okay, I'm here to help you. I have a whole bunch of helpful tools. Let me throw down a rope to try to help you. Let me cheer you on from up here. You got this. Maybe I'm going to bring a whole team of a support network to help get you out of this mud. We're going to help you. I mean, when you're in this scenario, no matter how helpful your tools may be, regardless of how you slice it, you're sitting pretty on the outside of the stuck mud pile and your client is stuck in the mud. You're just in really different places. And so even if we are incredibly gracious, we have an abundance of kindness, and we are there to support our clients, if we approach them by saying, you're stuck and I'm not, it's going to create a dynamic where they feel like we are on the outside looking in at them, like a fish in a fishbowl. But if instead on the flip side we see it more as we're the ones that are missing something or we got something wrong, then it might be more like we're the ones stuck in that mud pit and our clients are kind of looking down at us going, hey doc, you all right in there? I was kind of hoping you could help me out. So using this imagery, I find it much more helpful to take the approach that regardless of how we got here, me and my client are stuck in the mud together. We are in the same predicament together, we're on the same team, and it doesn't matter how we got here, we're gonna have to find a way out together. When we take this approach with our clients where we are stuck in this whatever stuckness thing is together, then it starts to feel more like, we're pretty stuck in the mud here, aren't we? What a predicament. I wonder what we should do about this. And now we can collaborate and do something together. I have some ideas, my clients have some ideas. I've been trying it this way, but maybe we can change it up. Oh, you've been noticing that you haven't been totally invested. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's collaborate because we got to get out of this mud. So in practice, this is what this approach usually might sound like for me. Hey, I noticed we've been working at this same item for quite a while and we haven't made as much progress as we might have hoped by now. I wonder what we might be missing here. Notice in this approach that there's an emphasis on we. We are not progressing. We are stuck. We might be missing something. In contrast, when we take the approach of thinking that the client is not invested in the work, then we might say something like, you seem stuck. You seem like you're not invested in the work. And that naturally brings up anyone's defenses, regardless of whether it's accurate or not. It's not going to get us anywhere meaningful. Or if we feel like we're the ones that are at fault somehow, then we might say something to our clients like, I'm not sure I'm helping, or am I being helpful? And oftentimes, most clients in this situation then start to feel like their problems are so great that even their therapist is not able to help them. When we use we in our conversations around why things don't seem to be progressing the way we might have liked, then it creates an open, curious invitation to say, I wonder what's really going on here. Do we need to take a pivot in our approach? Is there something going on the client's end? Let's talk about this. Let's collaborate it. Let's put our heads together and figure this one out together. Using we language in therapy in general has other benefits as well. We're modeling for clients that a lot of what happens in life is a we and not a me or a them. And I also believe that using we language encourages clients to be the agent of change that we're trying to encourage them to be, because they can speak up and say either they're missing something or that maybe their therapist is missing something, and hopefully this we language helps foster a sense of safety for them to bring something up and be able to say, yeah, can we try a different approach? I'm not so sure this is working for me. It's like, great, thank you for telling me. Let's talk about that so that we can help you, because that's why we're here. Well, I thought this might be a little helpful tidbit as far as how to approach clients who seem stuck in therapy. Now, I don't think magically, universally, every time you start using we language, everybody is just going to get unstuck and achieve all of their goals, but it does seem to have a much higher rate of effectiveness in my own practice, and I thought it might be beneficial for you to hear about as well. And as I mentioned, I'll link to some resources below about collaborative therapy in general, because this is just one little tiny tenet of it. And if you want to learn more, check out the links below. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Therapy Notes helps with scheduling, notes, and billing, and just generally helps your practice run much more smoothly. If you'd like to check out Therapy Notes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, and also if you have any tips you'd like to add as far as helping clients get unstuck, leave a comment below, because that's something I love about these videos. Other people can learn from your wisdom as well. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.